Good afternoon, and thank you for joining. Today, I'll walk you through a structured month-end close process in Business Central, focusing on practical key steps, timeline management for your month-end close, the controls you need to take in for the close, and also reporting to make the month-end close less stressful and successful. So our main goal today is to show you how to achieve a faster, error-free close by using structured routines inside Business Central. And our focus will be on looking strictly at practical checklists, clearing transactional pipelines, and leveraging the built-in AI and automation tools within Business Central. And today's agenda will be the overview. This is going to be the agenda overview, how to the purpose of month-end close, preparation steps for the closing, doing cash validation using bank reconciliation in Business Central, subledger balancing with the AR and AP and inventory general ledger accounts, and with the subledgers, creating accruals, doing monthly accruals, running depreciation and prepaids for the month end, printing financial reports, and also posting any restrictions if you have any. So why month-end close matters? It matters because it ensures all the transactions for that particular period are recorded, posted, and complete before generating the reports to get the right financial reports. It ensures validation accuracy. It validates the subledger and reconciles to the general ledger, and balances are correct across all the modules. And after doing the first two, you get reliable reports, financial statements that drive decision making and maintain compliance. So the month end, a very efficient month end doesn't always happen on the last day or the final day of the month. A smooth close will depend on a disciplined timeline, and it starts with a few days before the month ends. So here I have a timeline, but every company is different. So, but it has to be a disciplined timeline so that 2 days before the month end, you post all the unposted transactions, make sure that all the workflows and approvals have been dealt with, and clear any backlogs. On the 0 day, you cut off all the transaction posting so that nobody can post to the closed period. And I will show that to you in Business Central. You reconcile the bank and the subledgers. So you print the aging reports, AR and AP reports, and inventory reports, and balance it with the GL accounts and the chart of accounts. And then you make a soft, Business Central has a soft close. So you have that. What that means is you lock all the users from posting any transactions, and there's a feature in Business Central which allows you to do that. And I will demonstrate this to you in a little while. So as I mentioned, that you post it, you validate it, you review. Everything starts with posting transactions, then validating the subledger, reviewing the GL, making adjustments. That is create to do an automation of journal entries, which you do month after month after month, you can use a feature in Business Central, which is called recurring journal entries. It's a one-time setup, and you can set them up in Business Central, and all you'll need to do is just post those entries. And after that, you can run your reports and finally close the period. So I'm going to show you in this case, how to post all the, make sure that all the entries are posted. That means all the sales and purchase invoices and the journals are posted, and how you can review it in Business Central. So I'll switch on to Business Central. In order to see that all the sales invoices and purchase invoices are posted, all you need to do is go into the sales invoices. All these invoices are not posted. They are sitting in the sales invoice section. And all you need to do is either you can select them all or select the ones which needs to be posted, and you can post it right from here. Use the post here and you can post it right from here. The other way of looking whether the invoices are closed or are not posted is also going into that I showed you the sales invoices. The similar way you can do it in the purchase invoices. And the other way is to go into vendor ledger entries or customer ledger entries. And here you can see these invoices which are in red, they are not closed and they are outstanding. So here you can see this column here open. When it is ticked over here, those are open invoices. And when there's nothing there, that means that those invoices are closed. So this is another way of seeing which invoices are open and which are closed, and you can correct them if you can post them and close them if you need to. The other way, and so in order to validate your financial report, the subledgers, it's to print the aging report and also to make sure that the balance in the aging report is the same as the balance in your chart of accounts and the accounts payable or accounts receivable. So in order to print an aging report, you need to go into the vendors here, and you need to go into reports, aged accounts payable, and you can put in the date. And I can preview it. I don't need to print it. And you can see the balance here. This may not be the right balance because this is a demo environment, but so you can match this balance of the outstanding vendor invoices. You can go into the accounts payable chart of accounts. And match the balance. So you can see that if the subledgers are balanced with the ledger, then it's a good thing. Otherwise, you have to investigate and find out where the discrepancies are. So post all entries, check the journals, and confirm that they're posted to the right period. Another very critical steps in making sure that the month is to get an efficient month end, it's to do the bank reconciliation. Bank reconciliation is very important in Business Central. not only in Business Central, but with all the companies. And you make sure just that all the cash receipts are recorded in Business Central, as well as all uh, uh, all the payments have been made and they are recorded in Business Central. As uh, in order to do that, and also making sure that all the differences are adjusted, like the bank fees and all. And again, I will show you how you can quickly go into bank reconciliation, make sure your bank is balanced to the subledger and the bank statement you get from your bank. And Business Central has got an excellent feature of doing bank reconciliation. It is very easy. And also you can use AI or Copilot in order to do your bank reconciliation. So basically, if you have multiple banks, you can go to each one of your bank bank reconciliation account. You can create new bank reconciliation for how many ever bank accounts you have. Click on the bank you want to do the reconciliation with. This is the statement ending balance from your bank statement. What Business Central has done is, on your right hand side are the bank ledger entries. On your left hand side, you can import your bank statement from, you can download your bank statement online and import it within Business Central. In order to do that, you can go into bank, but there is a little bit of a setup and configuration before you can bring in this bank statement. So, but once it is configured and set up, you can, it's a one-time setup, and you can import the bank statements as every month. After month, what it will do, it will bring in the bank statement entries on this side of the of uh, of the screen on your left hand side, and these are the bank ledger entries on the right hand side, as I mentioned earlier. What Business Central does is also, it has got an excellent feature matching the transaction depending on the criteria you have sent. And really, you don't need to even set up those criteria. It uses AI technology to match. You can manually match it. You can automatically match your transactions. You can remove match, and you can see the match detail. I am going to do automatically match the transactions. So all I need to do is click on this um, auto match, and it will tell me that these two transactions, as you can see, have been matched. In this case, I have also, when I see that there are some service charges which have already been recorded. However, there is an overdraft charge which has not been recorded. In this case, what I can do is I can actually make that transactions right from here. I don't need to get out of this uh, section in order to do a journal entry to record this transaction. I can just go into my home screen, and from here it will automatically go into the general journal, and it will record. You can post the transaction right from here. I can unmatch the transactions also, but also when I see some of these features here, I can see that these two are equal to this, and and if I'm sure confirmed that this deposit is referring to these two, I can match it over here, right? Click by just clicking on this, and I can match it over here. So there are other ways to, I have to do a little bit of a configuration in order to do that, but I can do that over here, right here. So this is one way of doing the bank reconciliation. And then you can, once you're satisfied, when there's no difference and you are satisfied with your bank reconciliation, you can just post it from here. So this is to do with it's part of the month end close, um, making sure that your subledgers match, accounts receivable, accounts payable, and you've done your bank reconciliation. Um, um, and also you need to, another thing you need to make sure is you do not want to you want to restrict all the users from posting any journal entries or doing any transactions in Business Central with the previous month you're trying to close. In order to do that, what Business Central has got is, as I mentioned earlier, it's a soft close. What that means, there are two steps in to do that. One is restricting posting within that period, and the other one is restricting users from actually posting any transactions. However, there are some users who are working on the month end and they do need to post some journal entries in order to do the month end, like recurring journal entries um, um, and any other month and close entries. In order for them to do that, the first one is to restrict users from posting into a particular period. For that, you need to go into General Ledger Setup. And allow posting from and allow posting to. If I was closing the month of May, I would put in I would start putting in the date of the current date for the current month. So no, what this means that the users can only post between these two dates, to and from and to. They cannot post in the month of May, June, no, May, April, May, or any other previous months. This makes sure this is a very sure way of doing a month end so that users are not posting anything in the previous months because those previous months have already been closed. So this is setting up the date for them not to post into anything. The other one is to set up users, only users who are allowed to post during those periods. Uh, and that for that, you need to go into user setup. Here, I can just add, I don't have user because this is a demo environment. This is a user. So I just put in the user ID here and allow that user to post between May 1st to May 31st. You can see that I could allow that user to use it to post from April as well or any other date previously. But if those months are absolutely closed and you don't want anybody to uh, post any transactions, even the users who are allowed to, this is a sure way of making sure that they can the users who are doing the month end can post only on the previous month and not the months before the one month they are trying to close. Uh, the other thing I wanted to that you when you are doing a month end, there are a lot of journal entries you need to do month after month and after month. And in order to do that, Business Central has a very good functionality called recurring journal entries, which you can automate it so that you don't have to create those entries every month. All you need to do is set it up once, and and all you need to do is go into them and post it. Have an example of that when I go into recurring journal entries, and you can bookmark this too. And I have created an example. So I pay, if the company pays rent a month after month and after month, I don't need to create that journal entry every month. I just create it once and I say the recurring month method, it's fixed. What fixed means that, the amount remains the same every month. Variable refers to that amount will change. If my amount changes every month, then when I post this journal entry, the amount will disappear and you can enter a new amount the next month. So fixed, all these entries will remain right here. When I post it, only the date will change. And if it's a variable, the amounts will become zero or blank, and the amounts will remain the same. Reversing journal entries, reversing recurring journal entries, what it refers to, again, it's a fixed and a variable. These are the entries for accruals. When you do accruals, um, uh, record expenses incurred but not yet invoiced, and revenue which is earned but not yet billed. You can record them over here using recurring reversing journal entries using fixed and variable um, amounts. And again, this is a one-time setup. So all you need to do is just set it up one time. Business Central has also got one more feature which can stop uh, which can automate the process, is prepayments. If you have prepayments, you pay prepayments, whether it's a payment or a revenue, you can record it in Business Central and it becomes an automated feature. So you don't have to do it month after month after month. And and I can show you that slide here. And so I have not set up the prepayments, but you can reach out to me or Encore in order to, for if you need any help in setting up deferrals or prepayments. And then controlling the account period and the prevent backdating. As I just showed it to you, it allows them to post from and to the general ledger, so that we don't have anybody posting to the different transactions. And also um, uh, make sure that all the transactions are accurate and you get very accurate financial reports. So that is controlling the accounting period. And last but not least is the summary uh, of the session today. You post all the transactions for that period, reconcile the cash and subledgers to the general ledger. You create recurring journal entries for accruals and prepayments, set up prepayments, and run depreciation every month. Again, depreciation, fixed asset depreciation is also one of the best features in Business Central. It's an automated feature, so you can run depreciation and you can schedule the run depending on when you want to do it. So if you want to schedule it from a day today or a next day, you can schedule the depreciation run. And and then print all the financial statements. And I will quickly show you where to get your financial statements, print the financial statements in Business Central. So again, you can actually, in order for you to do print a trial balance, all you need to do is just go on the global search and search on trial balance. And Business Central has a lot of built-in reports, which will allow you to print it right from here. You can close trial balance, detailed trial balance, vendor trial balance, customer trial balance. You can get a comparison, detail, and summary by the budgets. So there are a lot of built-in reports within Business Central where you can print your trial balance, and also you can print. All you need to do is, this is an Excel form, but um, and you come up here and use it actual changes. You just and you do need to put a date in here so that you know where you need which month you're printing the trial balance from. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this is how you would print the trial balance. I'm sorry you don't have much time, but I need to. This is where you would be able to print the trial balance from. And there are other reports you can find in your financial reporting, and you can print the reports from here as well. So, yeah. So this is the end of my session. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Encore. We can help you with. Thank you very much, everybody.